Hi there and welcome to Race Centre. I'm Dazza and today we're going to talk about a few key points with auto blippers or blip assist systems that are very common these days and particularly the aftermarket ones. First thing, I highly recommend that you get a good unit. There are a lot of different ones on the market. There are some great ones, there are some not so great. By far our preference is always to go for, your first choice should be Translogic. They make an amazing system for the bikes that they do. It's what we use in our race team, and a few reasons for that. The way that the shifter works is so much nicer on the actual gearbox. The way that the installation is, how close they are to a plug and play, a true plug and play system that just works straight out of the box. Sure, sometimes we adjust them a little bit to fine tune them, but they're a great robust system that we've used a lot and done a lot of installs, so we really can stand by that product. They don't do all bikes. This particular bike here, we've got it's in a RSV4. This one's actually one of our favourite customers ones, Pablo, and the bike's name is Papa Giuseppe, believe it or not. We like to name our bikes, and Pabsy does as well, so we gave it a good European name, Papa Giuseppe, and we've installed in this particular instance an IRC blipper. It works really well, and hats off to them, they've done a great job with that. Did need a little bit of configuration, but not too much. Really smooth, really smooth and feels nice, so that's another good option for you. So if you couldn't get a Translogic, the IRC blippers for the bikes they do are quite good. So there, first step, make sure you've got a good blipper. If you're unsure, speak to somebody that you trust. You know, like I think, you know, and obviously I'm biased here because we're a performance shop and a specialist race shop as well. So the way that our industry works a lot these days is products are sold direct to the customer over the internet, and while that's great because it's great for the end price to the customer and the ease of sale for the customer, there you do lose a little bit of that the experienced hand guiding you on what product there is. So if you've got your own particular situation in your bike, and there might be 5 different products for your bike, if you're going direct to the supplier, they're obviously going to tell you that theirs is the best, whereas what you want to be doing is speaking to somebody that you trust that works in the industry and is specialised in that area, and they'll be able to guide you. Because as I said, in a lot of cases there's different brands depending on what particular bike that you've got, which is the best for that for that purpose. So so that's a really important thing, is to speak to somebody that you trust, and even if you've got to pay a tiny bit more for that sale to go through that person, then you've got a little bit more, you know, it's a bit easier for if you've got a warranty issue or there's any technical things that you are not sure about, that you can get that. So key point 1 is to get a good unit. 2, ideally speak to somebody that you trust and to guide you, that's experienced in the area. And then it comes down to a few other things, and this is, again, a lot of these systems are designed to be plug and play. They come with instructions, and if you're a really handy do-it-yourselfer and that's what motivates you, then go for it. But if you're not sure, while it's more expensive, it is best to try and get a professional to do it for you. There's little tips and tricks and stuff that you learn along the way, like even how you know, some of these units have quite a lot of wiring involved with them, and doing the wiring protection so that it's not going to come into contact with moving parts like fans and stuff like that, and also how you protect the wiring so that over time it's going to be bouncing around on track and rubbing and all that type of thing, and you've got to make sure that you know that it's going to be protected. We have seen situations where wiring has actually frayed over time and created a blown fuse when you're on track, and you know, coming out of a corner, someone could be behind you and all of a sudden you lose all ignition. So that's actually quite a dangerous situation. So the install itself can, while looking at it generically, can be a little bit simple, it can be more complex to do it really well. And then there's the next point is about setting it up properly. Certainly if it's a track bike, I highly recommend before you go to the track that it's set up on a dyno. As I said, with Translogic in particular, you know, like most of the ones that we use are pretty damn awesome out of the box. but having that quality assurance to make sure that it's installed properly and working properly, and that you're load testing it on the dyno properly by, again, as someone who's experienced with them, is really, really important. And part of that process is not just the electronic configuration in terms of, the quick shifter side, the sensitivity. If something's a little bit too sensitive, you're going to get missed gears, right? And eventually you're going to ruin your gearbox, and the cost of that is huge, right? So the extra cost to get it installed by a professional and set up on a dyno, when you look at it over the long term, it could save you a lot of money on your gearbox. There's the electronic side, things like sensitivity, the timings of the quick shifter, and then also the sensitivity of the blip assist system, how much it tries to rev, the duration. All of those things make a difference to how smooth it is, how easy it is to operate, and then how well it's going to look after your gearbox, and ultimately how much it's going to assist you in your lap time. So doing all those things properly does make a difference, and that's why while they are available as plug and play and do it yourself, you are best for this type of thing to use an experienced hand in it. The other thing that we do, and that's really, really important, probably not spoken about enough in the industry, is the setup of the rear sets, and in particular, when it comes into these type of things, is the distance between the foot peg and then the gear lever itself. So that dimension there, between there and there, is critical. Some people have small feet, some people have bigger feet. Pabsy, who has this, is quite a big dude. Yeah, like he's got a size 12 shoe, so it's huge. He and I have very, very different sized feet. So the ideal setup for me is different to what it is for him. So the way we go about it is, I'll first set up this this rear set for me, because to do the electronic configuration side and get all that right, I need the shifter in a perfect position for me, or a very close to perfect position for me, so I can get a really good feel for how it would operate. Once I get that right, then I can change the shifter to that's the right, the distance between here, that's the right distance for Pabsy. The way we do that, we've actually got a procedure that we've developed, and based on people's shoe size, there's a range that distance must be in. The thing about a lot of aftermarket rear sets on the market is some of them don't, particularly they don't go far enough for big people. So if you're somebody that's got a really big foot, you're going to struggle to get that distance right, and that's going to mean that you're going to struggle a little bit on track, potentially miss shifts, and long-term damage to your gearbox. So what we've actually done in this particular case, as I said, first set it up with it correct for me, and then we actually get to retrofit a bit of a Frankenstein setup to get that distance long enough for Pabsy. We've got a chart that says this is your shoe size, and this is what the distance between the peg and the gear lever should be, and that's actually available in the race school section of our website. The race school section of our website is a paid subscription, but there's other information and content in there, so it's actually really well worth it, even just for getting that distance right for yourself. So I recommend that if it's something that you're into, that you do check that out. So we get that right then, get it all set up, and then it's ready to go for the track. So feels amazing. Pabs, you're going to love it. Sounds amazing. And yeah, I hope some of that information's been a little bit helpful about Blippers. They are a great thing. They do help on the track. They do make life easier. They do allow you to focus more on the corner entry, braking area, rather than having to worry about rev matching the bike. Probably another tip for you with the Blipper, you still have to remember on a bike like this, any production bike, there's still a production bike with a production gearbox. And while they're a sports bike and designed, they are designed for superbike racing, they aren't a MotoGP gearbox. They're not a seamless gearbox. If you watch MotoGP, how fast they kick them down, they've got a seamless gearbox as well. You don't in your production bike. So you can, when the Blipper is set up really, really well, you can get your gear changes extremely close together. If you're trying to do three like all in one hit, like bang, 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 like you're going to struggle a little bit. It's best to give the Blipper a bit of time. So bang, bang, bang is the best way to do it. A good example, you were coming out of a corner like Stoner Corner at the Island and then into Miller. You're coming generally out of Stoner in fifth, and then you've got to get back down to, depending on your configuration of your gearbox, back down to second. So you're doing 3 gear changes. There are some rare cases where you'd be doing 4, but you can do the first 2 quite quickly, and then the last one you can do it quite late as you're entering the corner. And you don't, with blippers and when they're set up well, you can be already starting to enter the corner and do the last one, and it's fine. Like, you're not going to have an issue if you've still got the trail brake on. Not an issue at all. So they're really, really good. But yeah, hope that information helps. And yeah, blippers are awesome. We don't have them all on our website at the moment, but we do supply as well as fit blippers. So if you're that way inclined, we'd love your business. So yeah, let's go listen to this.